Sometimes in life, you realize something that's a bit painful but also very freeing. Nobody truly cares about you as much as you imagine. People might clap when you do well. They might talk about your mistakes. But at the end of the day, everyone is busy with their own struggles. They might give advice or talk about you, but they aren't losing sleep over your dreams or your pain. The simple truth is, your dreams don't matter to anyone until you make them real. Many people don't understand this when they're just starting out. We grow up thinking everyone will cheer for us, that people around us will notice all our hard work. But real life isn't like that. Most people are busy with their own problems. They're wrapped up in their own worries, their own goals, their own survival. They don't have time to care about what you want to become, and they don't sit around hoping you'll succeed. In fact, some might even doubt you or laugh when you share your dreams. That's where the disappointment comes in. You expect others to be excited for you, but you often get quietness or disbelief. That quietness can either break you or push you to work harder. If you think about it, the world only claps when something is clear to see, when there's proof, when there are results. People admire what's finished, but they rarely care about the late nights, the sacrifices, and the failures that came before. They don't see you working quietly in your room. They don't notice the days you cry alone. And they don't value the endless effort you put in. All they care about is the final outcome. And once they see it, suddenly everyone says they knew you could do it. That's just how people are. This isn't meant to make you bitter, but to free you from expecting too much from others. If you know from the start that no one will care about your dream until you make it happen, you stop wasting energy trying to get approval. You stop telling your plans to people who can't understand them. You stop begging for encouragement. Instead, you put that energy into doing the work. There will be days when your dream feels too heavy to carry alone. On those days, you'll look around hoping someone will help you, but you might find no one. And that's when you must remember that it's your job to carry your own dream. It's your vision, not theirs. If they don't see it now, it doesn't mean it's worthless. It just means it's still inside you, waiting to be formed, waiting to be proven. Remember, even the best ideas were once invisible. Even the most famous people were once ignored. They kept working until their results were too big to deny. This is why patience and steady effort matter more than claps. When no one notices, you keep going. When no one believes, you still choose to believe. When no one supports, you still show up for yourself. And slowly, quietly, the dream you once carried alone starts to become real. And when it becomes real, the same people who doubted you will now want to be close to you. They will say they always cared, they always believed. But deep down, you will know the truth. They only cared once your dream became something they could see and benefit from. So the lesson is simple. Stop waiting for others to care. Stop wasting your energy trying to convince them. Nobody cares about your dreams until you make them real. And that's perfectly fine, because the one person who must care the most, the one person who must believe the most, is you. People are too busy with their own struggles to carry yours. This is hard for many of us to accept. We want others to listen, to understand, to share our burdens. But the truth is, everyone is fighting battles we can't see. Someone might be smiling, but inside they could be dealing with pain that keeps them awake. Someone might look successful, but deep down they might be scared of losing everything. People are dealing with their own problems, so they don't always have the energy to deal with yours. It's not that people are mean or uncaring. It's simply that life asks a lot from each of us. When you expect others to always be there for you, you set yourself up for disappointment. They might listen once. They might say something kind. But they can't live your struggles for you. They can't walk in your shoes. They can't feel your sleepless nights. And they can't cry your tears. Sometimes, even the people closest to you will seem distant. Not because they don't love you, but because they're busy with their own responsibilities. When you truly understand this, you stop being angry at the world for not always being available. You realize that everyone is carrying a burden, just like you. This realization can hurt at first. It might make you feel lonely or invisible. But slowly, it teaches you the most important lesson in life. Strength must come from inside. When people are too busy to carry your pain, you learn how to carry it yourself. When they are too busy to push you, you learn to push yourself. When they are too tired to stand beside you, you learn how to walk alone. This is how you become strong and tough. It's not built when things are easy. It's built in those quiet moments when you understand that no one can fight your battles for you. Think of the times you struggled the most. You might have hoped someone would save you, would lift you. But in the end, it was you who had to face it. And even if people showed up, they could only comfort you. They couldn't erase the struggle. They could only give advice. They couldn't live your reality. At the end of the day, everyone has their own mountain to climb. And when you stop being upset about this, when you start respecting that truth, you free yourself from false hopes. This freedom is powerful because it gives you control over your own journey. You no longer sit and wait for someone to carry you through your problems. You take charge. You look at your scars and accept them. You stop comparing your life to others because now you see that everyone has their own burden to carry, even if they hide it well. And with this understanding, you also become softer. You stop demanding constant attention, and you start appreciating even the smallest acts of kindness. You start valuing the people who show up, even if they can't carry your burden, because you now know it takes great strength to help someone else while dealing with your own pain. When you accept that people are too busy with their own struggles to carry yours, you stop expecting miracles from them. Instead, you create miracles for yourself. You realize that the only person who can fully carry you through every storm is you. And once you know that, you no longer see yourself as weak or abandoned. You see yourself as capable, strong, and unstoppable. Loneliness is not a bad thing. It's a chance to build strength. So many people are afraid of being alone. They see loneliness as emptiness, as being unwanted, as a sign that something is wrong with them. They believe that being around people means they are valuable, and being left alone means they are forgotten. But the truth is, loneliness can be one of life's most powerful teachers. It removes the noise, the distractions, the opinions, and leaves you with just yourself. At first, it feels strange because you're not used to facing yourself without breaks. But over time, you realize that this quietness, this space, is where you grow. Loneliness teaches you to be tough. When there's no one around to comfort you, you learn to comfort yourself. When there's no hand to hold, you find the strength to stand on your own 2 feet. When there are no voices to guide you, you start to listen to your own inner voice. This is where real confidence comes from. It's not born when you're in a crowd. It's born in the quiet moments when you learn that you can survive without one. Being alone also lets you see yourself clearly. When you're always with people, you often pretend. You change your words, your actions, your choices to fit what others expect. But when you are alone, there is no one to impress. There is no audience to perform for. You are simply yourself. And in that raw state, you start to discover who you really are, what you care about, what you believe in, and what you want to create. That discovery is priceless, and it only happens when you are willing to spend time with yourself. Loneliness is also a time of preparation. Think about seeds buried deep in the ground. They are alone in the dark, unseen by anyone. But in that hidden place, they are getting ready to break through, to grow, to bloom. In the same way, your lonely times are not wasted. These are times when you are building unseen strength, growing your character, making yourself tough. The world may not see your progress, but one day the strength you built in silence will be clear to everyone when you step into the light. It's easy to see loneliness as a punishment, but if you change how you look at it, you start to see it as a gift. It gives you the chance to rest, to heal, to grow without pressure. It allows you to let go of bad connections and be free. It teaches you that your worth is not tied to how many people are around you, but to how deeply you value yourself. And once you learn to value your own company, you will never again fear being alone. Many people jump from group to group, relationship to relationship, friendship to friendship because they are terrified of being with themselves. But those who welcome being alone find a rare kind of strength. They are not desperate for attention. They are not controlled by the fear of being rejected. They are not easily broken when people leave because they already know how to stand strong on their own. Loneliness gave them that gift. So instead of running from loneliness, lean into it. Use it as a time to build strength, to connect with yourself, to get ready for what's next. Because once you learn how powerful it is to stand alone, you will never again see loneliness as a bad thing. You will see it as the base of your strength. Pain gets heavier when you expect others to carry it for you. We all go through times when life feels too much to handle. Disappointments, failures, heartbreaks, and losses leave us with hurts that are hard to heal. In those moments, we naturally look for someone who can understand, who can carry some of that pain, who can make the load lighter. And sometimes, for a short while, people do help. They listen. They give advice. They sit with us. But what we often forget is that they can't carry our pain the way we can. They can stand next to us, but they can't feel what we feel. They can't feel the same strength of emotion. They can't understand it in the same way. They can't heal us from the inside. The disappointment starts when we expect them to do what only we can do. We expect friends, family, or partners to always be there to soothe our hurts, to save us every time we fall, to lift us every time we break. And when they don't, we feel left alone. We feel angry. We feel invisible. But the truth isn't that they don't care. The truth is that they simply can't carry a pain that was meant for us to carry. Pain is very personal. It's linked to our unique experiences, our unique views, our unique journeys. No one else has lived our exact life. So no one else can carry the exact weight we feel. When you start expecting others to carry your pain, the burden gets twice as heavy. It becomes heavier because now you're not only dealing with the pain itself, but you're also dealing with the disappointment that others aren't helping the way you want them to. You feel let down, and that makes the weight harder to bear. But when you stop expecting and accept that this pain is yours to hold, something changes. You start to focus not on who isn't helping, but on how you can grow through it. You stop waiting to be saved and start saving yourself. That change doesn't make the pain go away, but it makes it lighter because you are no longer carrying it with anger. Pain has a strange way of shaping us. It teaches us to be strong. It helps us understand others better. It builds our character, but only when we choose to carry it ourselves. If we keep waiting for someone else to take it away, we miss the chance to find the strength that pain was meant to wake up in us. People may walk beside you. They may encourage you. They may hold your hand for a little while. But at the end of the day, the healing must come from you. You are the one who has to sit with the hurt, who has to learn from it, who has to rise again after it. This doesn't mean you must go through life without help. It only means you should let go of the unrealistic idea that someone else can fully carry your pain. Appreciate those who are there. Value the comfort they give, but never give the job of your healing to anyone else. Because pain becomes too much when you expect others to solve it. But when you accept it as your own teacher, your own weight to lift, it slowly becomes the very thing that makes you stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than before. Stop waiting for others to approve of you. Clap for yourself. Too often, we waste our lives looking for approval from others. We wait for someone to tell us we are good enough, talented enough, worthy enough. We post something and keep checking who liked it. We achieve something and look around to see who noticed. And when no one claps, we shrink. We doubt ourselves. We even stop trying. This need for approval becomes a chain that holds us down. And without even knowing it, we start living not for ourselves but for what others think. But think about it. Why do you need someone else to tell you that you matter? Why do you need an audience to clap before you can celebrate your progress? The truth is, if you keep waiting for others to approve of your journey, you might wait forever. People are unpredictable. Some will notice, some won't. Some will clap, others will criticize, some will even stay silent just because they don't want to see you do well. If your self-worth depends on their reaction, you will always be fragile. But if you learn to clap for yourself, you become unstoppable. Clapping for yourself means appreciating your effort even when no one sees it. It means saying well done to yourself for showing up, even if you failed. It means honoring your journey, even when it looks small to the world. You know how many nights you stayed awake working, how many times you fought the urge to give up, how many silent battles you won. The world may never know that, but you do. And if you don't celebrate it, who will? Approval is addictive. And once you start relying on it, it controls you. If people cheer, you feel alive. If they ignore, you feel invisible. But the moment you take that power back and decide that your worth does not come from likes, claps, or comments, you set yourself free. You no longer wait for someone else to tell you what you already know. You start living for your own growth, not for their approval. There will be times when nobody claps for you. Not because you're not worthy, but because they don't understand your journey. Sometimes they are too busy with their own lives. Sometimes they are blinded by jealousy. And sometimes they simply don't see the value yet. That doesn't mean your work has no value. It only means you must be the first one to recognize it. You must be the one to keep your fire alive even when the room is silent. When you stop waiting for approval, you stop begging for permission to shine. You start to move bravely. You take risks without fear of judgment. And you celebrate yourself without guilt. You no longer feel small when no one is clapping. You realize that the loudest clap is the one you give yourself in silence. The one nobody else hears, but you feel deeply. That clap is not about being proud. It is about recognizing your worth without depending on anyone else. So every time you achieve something, no matter how small, pause for a moment and clap for yourself. Every time you take a step forward, even if no one notices, recognize it. Every time you get up after falling, celebrate. Because if you can learn to clap for yourself, the silence of others will never break you. It will only remind you that your journey belongs to you, and your worth has never depended on their approval. Stop asking why no one cares. Start asking why you don't care enough about yourself. It's easy to blame the world and say people are selfish. People are careless. People don't value you. It's easy to feel frustrated and repeat to yourself that nobody notices your effort. Nobody sees your struggle. Nobody celebrates your existence. But the real question is not about them. The real question is about you. Why are you waiting for their care instead of giving it to yourself? Why are you desperate for their attention when you could be giving yourself the love, the respect, and the recognition you deserve? The problem with constantly asking why nobody cares is that it keeps you feeling like a victim. You stay stuck in disappointment because your happiness is tied to what others do. But when you change the question and ask why you don't care enough about yourself, you get your power back. You begin to see that your self-worth cannot come from others. It must be built from inside. It makes you think about how much you have ignored your own needs, how much you have ignored your own dreams, how much you have allowed yourself to be treated in ways that hurt you. Caring for yourself is not selfish. It is necessary for survival. When you put yourself last, hoping that others will put you first, you end up empty and broken. You wait for someone to come and heal you, but healing is a job you do yourself. You wait for someone to approve of you, but approval means nothing if you cannot believe in yourself. You wait for someone to care, but the truth is that their care will never fill the emptiness if you don't learn how to care for your own soul. When you start asking why you don't care enough about yourself, you begin to change how you live. You start setting boundaries where you once let people walk all over you. You start listening to your own needs instead of ignoring them. You start protecting your time, your energy, your peace because you realize they are valuable. You stop looking in the mirror and criticizing yourself and instead begin to speak with kindness to the person you see. You stop chasing after those who don't appreciate you and instead focus on building a life that makes you proud. The moment you care enough about yourself, you stop begging others to care. Their silence no longer feels like being abandoned because you are no longer abandoning yourself. Their rejection no longer destroys you because you no longer reject yourself. Their absence no longer leaves you empty because you are already full within. And surprisingly, when you start caring for yourself, you attract people who treat you better. Because the way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others treat you. The world may or may not care, but that is not in your control. What is in your control is how deeply you care for yourself, how much you value your worth, how much you protect your peace. Stop asking why no one cares because the answer is not out there. The answer has always been inside you. The day you care enough about yourself, you will no longer cry for what others fail to give. You will stand tall, knowing that you are complete. Even if nobody else noticed, their opinions fade, but your choices stay with you forever. When you look back at life, you realize that so much of your holding back, your fear, your quietness, came from worrying about what people might think. You held yourself back because of their opinions. You changed your decisions because of their words. And you hid your light because of what they might say. At the time, it felt very important. At the time, it felt like their opinion was the most important thing in the world. But as days turn into years, those opinions lose their power. The same people who once criticized you move on to other topics. They change what they're focused on. They forget what they once said about you. But you are left living with the choices you made while listening to them. That is why it is dangerous to let temporary voices control your life's path. Every opinion is like the wind. It comes, it makes noise, and then it disappears. People may talk about you today. They may gossip about your failures. They may make fun of your dreams. But tomorrow they will find someone else to talk about. Their attention is short, their judgment is shallow, and their memory is weak. What stays strong are the results of your decisions. If you choose to give up on a dream because they laughed at you, that decision will stay with you. If you choose to stay quiet because they didn't approve, that quietness will echo inside you for years. If you choose to live for their approval, you may wake up one day realizing you never lived for yourself. When you understand that opinions fade, you start to see how much power you give away when you let them guide your choices. You start to wonder why you would give up something important to you just to please people who might not even remember tomorrow. You begin to see the truth that people's opinions say more about them than they say about you. Their words often come from their own worries, their own fears, their own limits. When they tell you it can't be done, they are not talking about what you can do. They are talking about their own lack of vision. Choices, on the other hand, are permanent. The life you live today is shaped by the decisions you made yesterday. The future you will step into is being shaped by the choices you are making right now. And once a choice is made, its results cannot be erased. This is why your choices must come from your values, your dreams, your beliefs, not from the changing voices around you. You are the one who will wake up every day and live with the results. You are the one who will look in the mirror and answer to yourself. Nobody else carries that responsibility. Only you. It is not easy to ignore opinions. As humans, we want to belong. We want to be accepted. We want others to like us. But there comes a point when you realize that living for their approval will never give you peace. Because no matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. If you succeed, they will be jealous. If you fail, they will laugh. If you stay quiet, they will question. If you speak up, they will criticize. There is no way to win the game of pleasing everyone. The only way to win is to step out of it completely and choose yourself instead. The more you trust your own choices, the less their opinions will matter. And over time you will see how quickly those voices disappear while your decisions keep shaping the life you are building. Their words are temporary, but your choices are forever. When nobody believes in you, it's your chance to believe in yourself. Many times in life, you will share your vision, your goals, your dreams, and instead of encouragement, you will hear laughter, doubt, or silence. People will say you are not capable. They will remind you of your past failures. They will point out every reason why it cannot be done. In those moments, you will feel discouraged. You will feel as if the whole world is against you. But the truth is, when nobody stands with you, you are given a rare chance. The chance to finally stand with yourself. It is easy to believe when everyone else is cheering. It is easy to stay motivated when people are constantly telling you how talented you are. But when you are surrounded by doubt, when you are left alone with nothing but your own heart, that is when your real strength is tested. Believing in yourself is not about being arrogant. It is about survival. It is about telling yourself that no matter how many people doubt me, I will not doubt me. It is about reminding yourself that your dreams were given to you for a reason, and you don't need the world's permission to make them real. Think of all the stories of people who achieved great things. In the beginning, very few believed in them. Some were even told that they would never succeed, that their ideas were impossible, that their voices didn't matter. If they had listened to those voices, they would have stopped. But instead, they chose to believe in themselves. They chose to move forward even when everyone else pointed in the other direction. They chose to trust that one day the world would see what they already saw inside themselves. When nobody believes in you, it hurts. It makes you feel invisible. It makes you question if you can do it. But if you think about that feeling long enough, you will realize something powerful. Their disbelief does not have to define you. It is simply a reflection of their own limits, not yours. Maybe they cannot imagine doing what you dream of doing. Maybe they cannot see beyond their own fear. That is not your problem to carry. Your job is to protect your belief like a flame, to keep it alive even when the wind of doubt tries to blow it out. There will be nights when you want to give up because the loneliness feels too heavy. On those nights, remind yourself that you only need one believer, and that believer can be you. If you believe in yourself, you have enough fuel to keep going. If you believe in yourself, you can handle being rejected. You can handle failure. You can handle the quietness of those who should have supported you but didn't. Every step you take in believing in yourself makes you stronger. Every small win becomes proof that you never needed a crowd. You only needed courage. Eventually, the same people who doubted you may come back and say they always knew you could do it. They may pretend to have believed all along, but you will know the truth. You carried yourself when nobody else would. You trusted yourself when nobody else did. And that faith in yourself became the base of your success. So when nobody believes in you, don't see it as a curse. See it as your chance to finally step into your own strength, to believe in yourself so strongly that no amount of doubt can ever break you again. When you realize that nobody truly cares about you the way you thought, something changes inside you. At first, it feels painful. You feel betrayed, alone, or even unseen. But slowly, you begin to see that this realization is not a bad thing. It's a kind of freedom. You stop expecting the world to always tell you that you matter. You stop waiting for people to cheer you on. You stop holding your breath for approval. You begin to breathe on your own. You start noticing that you are able to clap for yourself, to cheer for your own smallest wins. The day you stop expecting others to care, you start to control your own life. You begin to notice how strong you have always been. But you were too busy looking outside for love and attention to realize it. It's not that people are mean or uncaring. It's that everyone is living in their own world, fighting their own battles. And once you accept that, you stop taking it personally. The moment you accept that nobody cares about your pain the way you do, you understand that healing is your responsibility. People may offer sympathy, but they can't carry your scars. They may stand by you for a while, but they can't feel the sharp pain in your heart at night. That is yours to carry, and that is yours to heal. And when you begin the process of healing for yourself, without expecting someone to come and fix you, you step into real power. You learn to pick yourself up when you fall. You learn to wipe your own tears. You learn to become the safe place you always wanted. It's not loneliness, it's strength. It's not being abandoned, it's taking charge of yourself. When nobody cares about your dreams, you learn to quietly grow them. Not everyone will see what you see. Not everyone will believe what you believe. But does it really matter? The dream was placed in your heart, not theirs. You are the protector of that dream, not them. So when others laugh, when others ignore, when others fail to understand, keep walking because dreams don't need applause. They need hard work. And hard work comes when you no longer rely on others to keep your fire burning. You learn to build a fire within yourself. You learn to wake up for yourself. You learn to keep going even when the room is silent. When nobody cares about your efforts, you start to put effort into things because they matter to you, not because you want to be noticed. The applause, the likes, the claps, they don't last. But the satisfaction of doing something for yourself, for your growth, for your peace, that stays. When you stop looking for attention, you start getting results. And the truth is, results speak louder than any praise you could receive. People may not care about the hours you spend in silence working, learning, building. But one day, the results of your steady effort will speak. And the same people who didn't notice will wonder how you did it. When nobody cares, you realize you are free to decide who you are. Free to fail without shame. Free to succeed without fear. Free to try without needing permission. Because if nobody cares, then there is no one to stop you. There is no one to judge you. There is no one to tell you what you can or cannot be. The chains of what you're expected to do fall away. And that is where you truly begin to live. That is where you discover yourself. That is where you find strength in being alone, peace in silence, and courage in being independent. Because in the end, you don't need the world to care about you. You only need to care enough about yourself to keep going.